Welcome to York Reacts. Today we're going to be taking a look at behind-the-scenes footage of Vice City, the Grand Theft Auto game from back in the day that I'm sure you guys have played as a kid. I know I did. Now, if you are new to my channel, I am a game developer. I actually worked on Grand Theft Auto 5 as an animator, so I'm really interested to see how they made GTA Vice City and what they did to create the character animation and different stuff, because now this is my wheelhouse and this is something I do for a living. And so as a kid, I played the game all the time, but I didn't know how it was made or what they did to create it. So I'm really interested to see this behind the scenes footage and kind of give my take on it. And hopefully you guys come along the ride with me. So if you're into that stuff, let's dive in and take a look.
All right, Mush.
Wow, hold on. First of all, I didn't even know that they did motion capture on this game. I thought this was all like keyframed animations and whatnot back in the day. I had no idea that they mocap this whole thing. This is so awesome. All right, so let me first play this back in slow motion. How about that? Just so I can see something here. So if you look closely, they're holding a piece of glass that looks to be like a wall that they're trying to replicate, and it's really good to do that because they probably have a camera behind the glass so that they can make sure to get the reference footage of these two. Now, this is old school mocap. This is very interesting. And what it looks like they're doing is they're fading into 3ds Max. So if you look at these performances here, this is done on an old, I mean, the program is still used nowadays, but this is the first program I learned 3D on, and it's called 3ds Max, and these are called bipeds, and this is like a skeletal system that's in the program that you use. I'm surprised that they use this. I had no idea that they use this. It's really cool to see this process. Let's like watch this all the way through if we can, and then I'll comment because I don't want to spoil too much here. Okay, let's check this out.
All right, Mush. I'm going to save your Vera, mate.
What the hell are you talking about?
You know that wanker Diaz, the bugle master?
The wanker
He's got
Diaz.
your boy Lance. Word is your mate tried to jump him. Didn't jump high enough, if you know what I mean.
Where did he take him?
All right, all
In plain
right.
English.
Keep your barnet on. They got him across town to the junkyard.
And you know what? Back in those days when I was using 3ds Max, it didn't have a really good constraint system. So what I mean by that is it was hard to get something to lock onto something else. And you can kind of really see that here because Tommy Vercetti's hands are like moving all over the place, and the other guy's neck is just kind of sitting there, and his hands are kind of like moving all over the place instead of it feeling like, you know, connected. Because it was really hard to do that in animation in that time.
Bloody hell, you nutter!
This is so cool. Wow. Yeah, so this is really old school mocap. You can really tell. Look at the famous actors in here. Lots of good voice actors.
Put this shit together. It's gonna be what they say. Off the hook.
So he wants Grand Theft Auto.
Funny old guy recently, eh?
The guy says, "Who's buying this?" And he points to me.
Yeah.
Come on, he says, "You buying this?" I said, "Yeah, I'm buying it for my son." He said,
Oh, okay.
"Are you sure your son? You want your son to see this?"
I've been shot, I've been shot.
Little bad word in any circumstance. Little money, little dick,
Oh, I didn't know this guy was in the
little
game.
house, little car. Little's bad.
Don't take it personally, my dear.
Look at all these voice
You know
actors.
what Lefty stands for?
It's amazing. Look. Oh, classic, man. I didn't know he was in the game either. What the heck? There's so many famous people in this game. I knew he was this guy, but
I think an ass whipping for 320. I stick my neck out for nobody.
This
Wow,
is a
wow.
disaster. We are so screwed, man.
I didn't know. This is awesome to see the behind the scenes footage of all these different actors.
It's so funny that the only thing that I'd ever do, and it's this,
Yeah.
you know?
And you recognize her voice because like she's from Water, I want to say Waterboy. I think that's the name of the movie with Adam Sandler.
Ever.
Yeah, it's like a whole new ball game here. The only thing is I don't get to beat you up.
Man, this footage is so old.
So it's supposed to be kind of like sex?
I've always wanted to do that.
Or I'm eating a chocolate bar.
You guys gonna have a kickoff party with food? Well, I show up for this.
Yeah.
I love seeing the behind the scenes stuff of these guys just goofing around. It's awesome. Okay, so here's another example of the, let me turn this music down. We'll just talk over this stuff. So this animation is obviously just a walk cycle and whatnot. So they probably mocapped a little piece of a walk And then they went into 3ds Max and they've duplicated that. They've looped it and they've made it kind of go over and over and over again, fixed it with the, added the gun to it. And if you look closely here at Tommy Vercetti's, like, his cage, like his geometry that's going around him, it's all made of tries. And what I mean is triangles. Back in the day, that's how it used to be done. It was all tries, and now it's quads. It's all made of like squares for the most part. You want to keep it like that. So it's interesting to see like the evolution of how things have went. I love to see that, because I forgot about that in a sense. When I first did 3D, I forgot that it was like that. It was all tries. And then things slowly over time evolved and changed, and I'm really surprised that they used 3ds Max to do this. It was probably the only decent program at that time to get the job done and to do as much complex things as they wanted to do. Because with the biped, you could alter it a lot. You could make a big fat biped, a big tall skinny one, and you could do that really easily in the program. But if you wanted to make your own custom rig for a custom character, it took a long time to do in 3ds Max or Maya or any other program. So I can kind of see why they use 3ds Max now. It's a time saver. It's a way for game development to get along easier and, cool. It's cool stuff. They did a great job for it being this far back in the day. See, look, the geometry is really simple. What I mean by geometry is like the actual plates of, polygons that are going around this building and whatnot. It's so simple, but they've done a really good job at the texturing to make it look more elaborate, more real. It's cool to see these old 3D models. Look at this stuff. This is so cool. I hope you guys are geeking out of this as much as I am, because it's cool to see this stuff. I never got to see this for Vice City. I just played the game at home on a PlayStation 2 in my basement as a kid, all day, every day. I wasn't even into game development yet at the time. I was just a little kid. So this is really cool to see this. Look at that. The whole city is teeny. Like nowadays, like this would be like, what? The map is only that big? But back in this time, dude, like that's a huge map. Oh, that's cool. We get to see some concept art. I love concept art. And look, the characters came out just the way they concepted them. Wow, these are really rough, crude, but look, see, they look just like that. The final character. Yeah, wow. These are cool. I wonder who the actual concept artist was. If he's watching this video, put your comment, man, down below. I'd love to know who you are. Shout out. Love the concept art. It's really cool to see the evolution of the game. And like, this is where it all starts, is some pencil drawings. And then it moves on to what we just saw, the whole creation of you running around in the game and whatnot. But first, they got to figure out who these characters are, what they look like. How does this world feel? How does the style of the vehicles going to be, right? Is it going to be cartoony? Is it going to... And everything is just a little cartoony if you look at it. It feels a little bit, big here or small here or whatnot. And because it's old school and just kind of painted and colored, it gives that cartoony feel as well, It's not going to be super real. But they're trying to make this look as real as possible, because this is like, top of the line graphics in those days. In a sense. But you have to keep everything really low polygon. Like if you see here, a whole car is like really low. Look, there's only like so many little pieces to put it together, because when you had thousands and thousands of polygons and you had millions, the game couldn't even run. It was too much. And so they're really pushing the game to the limits and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that little breakdown of the behind the scenes footage of GTA Vice City. That was so cool for me. It was kind of a nostalgic trip, and especially as a game developer, to see how they created a lot of that stuff. I didn't think they used biped in 3ds Max. I had no idea. So it was really cool to see that. And now that in the beginning when it first came on the screen, I thought, what? Why'd they use that? Because it was a little cumbersome and troublesome to use. But as the video progressed, it clicked and I realized, oh, I remember why. I know why they used that. Because biped was really easy to customize on how big and fat you could make a character, or tall and skinny, and all these things. You could really alter the character rig underneath. And that's important, because to make a character rig, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort for a custom skeleton, basically, and custom controllers for each character. But when you use biped, you can use a biped for every single character, and you just customize a couple things and tweak it. So it makes production a whole lot faster. And for a game like GTA 5, or for a game like GTA Vice City, they needed to use any kind of thing they could to make it easier for them. And man, it really paid off. The world was huge, and you saw it didn't look that big, but when you played the game, it felt really big, right? So it was really cool to see like the different stuff and the limitations they had, and man, geeking out over it. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. If you did, you guys know what buttons to press, and stick around. I also, if you're into GTA and you're into all that stuff, I worked on GTA 5 as an animator, and recently I've been diving back into the game and playing it as a playthrough and kind of showing people the animations I worked on and just talking about my experience on different stuff. So if you're into that, stop on by. I pretty much stream almost every night nowadays. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.